Yes, good evening, legends. It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little stream for you lads and lasses. We are, sorry, I had my Cantona collar up there for a second. We are here for another cheeky little stream to discuss Manchester United's latest transfer goings on in this evening. It's June the 15th, it's 10:19 p.m. We'll discuss all the evening's transfer goings on, latest bits and bobs of information we've had come out, and we'll discuss it raw here on the channel. Welcome in everybody to the live chat. Thank you very much for joining. Who's in here? Shout out to PJ, Paula, Trix, Shami, Ruben, Prima Italia, Melissa Smith, Josh Hawker, Trix FN, Gav's highlights you Don, Gavin James, Staygold, Rich M, what's happening? Josh, PJ, Rajat and everybody who's in here. Legends. Do us a favour at the start of the stream, smash that like button, give us a massive like on the channel, that helps us out. Also subscribe if you're new to the channel, get yourself subscribed and involved in the live chat. We'll dip in and out throughout and say hello to everyone and see what your legends got to say, and then we'll have a Q&A at the end. Hello, how you doing, Bjorn? No, I don't. Jazzy, what's going on? Samaconda, Trix, Vexico, Gaz, GB, everyone, thank you for joining. And if you're on catch-up later, feel free to get in down below in the not live comment section and have your say about anything we're discussing. What's going on, Welshman? Thank you, Welshman. G. Wolflad, get in there, my son. Aidan, Wayne, Tommy Boyle, come on. Oh, yeah, look at that. You can spell his name backwards. I didn't think about that. Check that out. Ekitike, it's like Hannah. That's a good point, that, Tommy, lad. What's that called again? Hey, nice one. Thank you, Tommy. Appreciate you. Emulated Forever, Stay Gold, everybody who's in it. Jake, nice one. Right, guys. So, look, obviously, we were, over the last few days, hoping to hear something of a bid for from Manchester United for, obviously, Sporting's Viktor Gyokeres. As it turns out, it seems Gyokeres likes a bottle job club, and he likes, it seems he's interested in Hojlund's, which means, obviously, we're looking, palindrome, that's it. Yes, a palindrome. We're looking at other options now in terms of the striker position. There is obviously still quite a few players that would fit the bill when it comes to coming to United and taking over from that number 9 role from Gasmus Boyland, scoring goals, creating chances, being dangerous, and actually not being shit is what we need. So somebody up there who's got a bit of bottle about them, bit of cojones, who can make stuff happen, score some goals pretty much. If we can get Mbeumo over the line, we'll have Cunha and Mbeumo in behind, potentially a good striker. Which striker? Well, that's what we're going to have to figure out this summer. At the moment, you know, I guess we are still in for Gyokeres in the sense that he may well not be going to Arsenal. The Sesko deal may go ahead, which means that Gyokeres won't be going to Arsenal, which means that he may be coming to Manchester United if Ruben Amorim still wants it. But as of right now, it does seem like he's had his head turned. Arsenal are leading the chase in regards to Gyokeres, which does mean United are going to have to look at some other options. And one of the other options that is being discussed and that we've made contact for this evening is Hugo Ekitike from Eintracht Frankfurt. Now, we have a look at the reports. We actually were live on this this lunchtime earlier on, and this popped on just at the end. And this was from Florian Pettenberg, and it said Man United want to sign Hugo Ekitike regardless of Matheus Cunha. We went over that, don't understand the Cunha part of it, but as they're still looking for a proper number 9. Liverpool remain fully in the race. Chelsea are also still involved. No agreements or decisions yet. Club-to-club talks between Man United and Eintracht Frankfurt began last week, as previously revealed. So, you know, Man United have made that initial contact there with Eintracht Frankfurt for Ekitike. Florian also reported a few hours ago from now that breaking, Manchester United also made contact with the management of Hugo Ekitike over the weekend and have expressed concrete interest. Man United are now in contact with Eintracht Frankfurt and Ekitike. No decision has been made yet. Liverpool and Chelsea still in the race. So, you know, obviously Sky in Germany, Bild in Germany, lots of different outlets in Germany reporting that Man United have made contact with Frankfurt and the players' camp, essentially, to thrash out a deal or to see if it's possible that there can be a deal made. There may well be a case of them wanting too much for Hugo Ekitike, because there are reports going around that they're looking for somewhere in the region of 75 million euros, somewhere around there for him, which for a player who, is still unproven to a degree, especially within the English Premier League, it's just too much money, isn't it? It's too much money to risk. It could be a Gashmus Boylan scenario all over again. I mean, this guy does look very good. He does look very good. It looks like he could be another Isak or something. He's rangy, he's tall, he's quick, he's strong, he can finish. He scored quite a few goals for them over in the Bundesliga this last season just gone. But essentially, far too much money, I think, is what we're talking about for the potential for this guy. Maybe there can be a deal worked out. But also, if he is going to cost that much, I believe there's other options that Manchester United could go and get, which just makes a lot more sense. We're talking about players like Visser from Brentford, who have obviously got the Premier League experience and can score goals. Players like Mateta, as well as another great shout, as well as somebody with a bit of Premier League experience who can score goals. So that's very important. It depends really what United are going for. Right, so Hugo Ekitike could be fantastic for Man United in the Premier. He does definitely look good. As I say, Isak-esque. But in regards to what he can do in the Prem, it's still a gamble from our point of view to actually just go and spend that amount of money on a player who's never played in the Premier League. It is a bit concerning for me. Then again, you could say the same, I suppose, about some other signings we're looking at. Osman, maybe, even Gyokeres, although obviously to play for Coventry or whatever. But you know what I mean. Like, obviously, there's not much experience there either in the Prem. This is from Marco Alcaraz, who sort of confirmed that just before the stream here, that Man United are the only club to make direct contact with Eintracht Frankfurt regarding Hugo Ekitike. And also a report here just an hour ago from Florian Plettenberg again that reports this. My favourite club as a child was Manchester United. I've always admired them. This is what Hugo Ekitike told RTL in December 2024. Man United are so far the only club to have made direct contact with Eintracht Frankfurt. Liverpool and Chelsea have up to now only held concrete talks with the players' management. Okay, so, all positive stuff there. If his favourite club as a child is Manchester United, these are the sorts of players I want to get at United. We've discussed it. We want players who see the opportunity, who know the club, who know what a special club this is and what it could once again be. Obviously, we're not there yet, but we do want players who want to come. I mean, as far as I'm concerned with Hugo Ekitike at the moment, from what I've seen from him and from the potential of us bringing him in, he is somebody that I'd be interested in bringing in. But I think that we'd have to bring somebody else in as well up there. We can't just rely on this 22-year-old and expect him to just bang all the goals in. We've already tried that with Gashmus Boylan, giving players a little bit too much responsibility too soon when they're not ready and don't have that experience, and expecting them to just swim in the deep end. So from that regard, I am interested in Hugo Ekitike, but he's down the list a little bit for me. He'd be more like my fourth choice out of everybody we could potentially sign this summer. You've got players like Gyokeres, Visser, Mateta, Duran even. There's lots of different options Man United could go and get. Ekitike is definitely on the shortlist for me, but not exactly my first choice because of the lack of Premier League experience and the fact he's a bit young and green. But let's ask the live chat. Let's just say he did cost, I don't know, 70 million euros. Would you like Manchester United to go and sign Hugo Ekitike? Yes or no, guys? Give us your thoughts and opinions. Yes, you think he's the man to do the job for us and score the goals, or no, you think we should go and get somebody else who could maybe score more goals for us or do better, Have your say. Ultimately, I think this guy would be a good addition to the squad. But if we're talking about just chucking loads of money at him and hoping that he's going to be the one to be the number 9 problem solver, it's a risk. It's a gamble. And I don't really like that at the moment for United. We need sort of more proven, tried and tested signings. Yeah, Solskjaer says no. I mean, that's true, Kevin. No, you're absolutely not wrong, Kevin. But it helps, doesn't it? I mean, there's loads of examples of players that have come over to the Prem and absolutely smashed it. All the way back to Dennis Bergkamps or whoever. But obviously, in recent times, there's still loads of players that have come over and smashed it. You're absolutely right. But it's just slightly more, what's the word, I suppose? It's more confidence giving, isn't it? If these players are proven in the Premier League, players like Cunha and Mbeumo and these sorts of guys, it does fill you with confidence because you already know that they can keep up with the physicality and the speed of the Prem. And it is a different sort of a league. PJ says yes. Tom Porter says no, not for 70 mil. Exactly. Maybe if we could get him for closer to 50 million euros, then it may well make a bit of sense to add him, but 70 million is far too much. Dave says no. Anthony says no. Hal says no. Rather get a goalkeeper. We won't need Mbeumo if we get a proper right wing back. Well, Mbeumo's going to be playing the number 10 for us. You what? Oh, right, you mean this... Oh, I see. So we could have Amad Diallo playing at number 10, is that what you mean? Maybe Bruno Fernandes as well. Well, we don't actually need to sign another number 10, technically. Because of the Bruno Fernandes situation, him staying, obviously, he is a number 10. He could play there. And like you said, Amad Diallo has been playing there for us, so he could play there. But ultimately, I think we'd be better off if we did get Mbeumo. For 35, yes, under 50, drop the price. There you go. I mean, obviously, there's no negotiations taking place just yet. It's just initial contact has been made. So it's not really expected United would pay anywhere near that amount of money anyway. It's just like, you know, probably the starting point. And obviously, that's where you meet them in the middle with a negotiation. So we could be getting him. This is what Bild are saying over in Germany. Bild say this: Man United are the only club that have spoken with Frankfurt about Hugo Ekitike. Frankfurt sporting director Markus Krosch is friends with United's head of recruitment, Christopher Feivel. Ekitike is open to moving to Old Trafford. His brother and agent is in dialogue with United officials. So it all does sound reasonably legit, you know, like there's legit contact going on here. There is a strong interest from Manchester United, but we've talked about the situation with putting pressure on other teams and trying to get other teams to maybe sell their players quicker without dragging it on a long time. Sometimes it can be a bit of PR spin, you know, to increase pressure on a football club. If we're linked with this guy, then it just further increases the chances that maybe we change our targets and then maybe a team could lose out. So just because we made contact with Frankfurt doesn't necessarily mean anything, does it? But at the moment, he is a player to add to the shortlist that we could be looking at. And he is, like I say, he is a good player. Let's have a look at his stats here real quick. So for the 24-25 season, you know, he's a big, tall lad. He does remind me a bit of Isak in terms of his frame and his movements and things like that, which is high praise because Isak's a great player. You know, but let's have a look at this. 22 years of age, 1 meter 90 tall. He's only played 5 caps for the under-21s of France and scored 5 goals for them. Hasn't played for the senior team. 33 appearances for Frankfurt, just gone in the Bundesliga there. For Eintracht Frankfurt, 33 games, 15 goals, 8 assists. So that's a goal contribution of 23 goals in 33 Bundesliga appearances. But the most interesting thing about that, maybe, is the fact that his actual minutes, in terms of his minutes played, 2,582. It's not the most, you know, it's not the most for a player that's had that many appearances. So, I mean, obviously I haven't watched much of the Bundesliga this season or watched Eintracht Frankfurt much. Obviously he's not playing all the games every single game, but he's still managed to get in a good record there. He's got 4 goals and 3 assists in 12 Europa League appearances just gone. Season just gone as well. And in the German Cup, 3 and 3. For a total contribution in the season of 24-25 for Frankfurt of 48 appearances, 22 goals and 12 assists, which is 34 goal contributions in 48 games for them. And he is playing properly as a number 9. You know, he's a centre forward, he's a number 9. He's not playing as a cam or a 10. You know, he's playing as a number 9, which is what Manchester United need. So from that perspective, heck of a decent player, heck of a decent signing, fits what we need, does look good. But as we said, players coming over from the Bundesliga, we don't have a brilliant track record with. And that's Manchester United, never mind the Premier League. The Premier League has a dodgy track record with Bundesliga players as well. But from Man United's perspective, think about all the players that have come over to United from the Bundesliga and shat it. I'm talking about Shinji Kagawa, who was the nuts over there in the Bundes and couldn't hang with it in the Prem. Even though he was clearly a good player, it just didn't happen for him in the Prem. And then, who else have you got? You've got, who else have you got, guys? There's quite a few. There's quite a few, obviously, players like Werner as well, coming over from the Bundesliga, sharting it. There's lots of players that have come over. Jadon Sancho, guys, for us, obviously. He was smashing it to pieces over there in Dortmund. Comes over to us, and he can't even find his own wing key for a P, this guy. That's the reality. Solskjaer, thank you so much for a £2 super chat, you legend. He says, scoring is the hardest job. No more kids up front. Well said, Solskjaer. I know. Yeah, okay, so if you're good enough, you're old enough. But I don't think he's good enough just yet. He does look good for the Bundesliga. Oh, Bundes friend. But it's not as good enough. It's not good enough for the Premier League, mate. And it's still a big gamble. And unless he is 40 million, it's not worth the gamble. Fair enough for 40 million. He's young. He's 22. Like, you are probably going to have him as a second choice striker for a number of years as well. And who knows what he can go on and develop and be. Probably a really great player. But as of right now, he doesn't have the experience to lead our line, I don't think. So it's a fair point. And as we've said, he's wanted by me, and I'm sure he's wanted by Manchester United, but he's more so wanted as a fourth or fifth choice option right now. There'd still be several players ahead of him with Premier League experience, or at least bigger experience, bigger age, that makes more sense to go and get to have a more likely chance of them being a success. Let's go. Thank you so much there. A comment from Ian Navarro. Thank you so much, mate, for the super chat. He says, Pig, I heard Hey Arnold was worth $100 million. End the talks there. No, you think Gyokeres to Arsenal is soon for them to get Sesko done? The club is slower than my nan in a hospice at signings. Where's Mbeumo? Ian Navarro, love that, mate. You heard Hey Arnold was worth $100 million. Hey Arnold, move it, football head. I guess you're not talking about that, right? I'm confused. Anyway, okay then, end the talks there. Do you think Gyokeres to Arsenal is soon for them to be at Sesko? I kind of think Arsenal, I think that is what's happening actually with Arsenal. I think it's extra added pressure to get them to accept a deal so they can get Benjamin Sesko for a bit less money. That's exactly what I think it is, rather than, draw it out for a long time. I still feel like Arteta's favoured signing would be Benjamin Sesko, seeing as they've been working on that for a while, and he's younger and maybe has a higher ceiling. It makes sense. But for us, obviously, we're looking for Gyokeres because he's got that ready-made experience right now to come in, slot in and score the goals. But from their perspective, yes, they may well be using that as leverage to try and get a deal done for Sesko. That's absolutely true. Thank you very much for that there, Ian Navarro. Not 100% sure what you're on about there, but big ups, you legend. I appreciate you. Were you talking about Rasmus Hojlund? I don't know. Hey, Arnold? Not sure. Makes sense as Dave Watkins? I'm not sure. I answered it as best as I could, but thank you so much for that, you legend. By the way, we got 300 legends in here. Big ups to the live chat legends. Smash that like button on it, my friends. Give us a like spike. Help us get to 300 likes. Every like helps push the stream out there. And also, you can subscribe. Get yourself involved. We're on here daily with all the latest United news around about lunchtime and around about 10 p.m. This is the evening show here. We've got plenty more to get into as well. Exactly, so did Sancho in the Bundesliga. Shat it in the Prem, big difference. It is a huge difference. I mean, Havertz really struggled for a long time coming over. Timo Werner absolutely shat it. Kagawa, Sancho, like you say. There's lots of examples. There are examples of players coming over and doing well as well, such as the likes of Erling Haaland or whoever. There are obviously some good examples too, but most of the time I think it's fair to say that the Premier League is a tougher league in every way, and so it's a place where some players have found out. What's up there, Luke CX? Hope you're doing well. Rashi at 9's interesting. Yes or no, guys? Keep Rashi and play him this season. What are you saying? Yes or no? I mean, I wouldn't rule us out keeping him, actually. If we can't sell him, surely Ruben's going to have to try and bring him back into the team. We can't just have Rashi sat on the sidelines or going out on loan to Villa again, helping them and us paying half of his wages. That would be crazy. But I think obviously what United are going to try and do is sell him, offload him, get the money, get him off of our books. His wages are crazy. His ego's pretty big. His effort levels are not that high. And so I think we will absolutely try and get him off of our books. But I could see a reality where Ruben Amorim brings him back in. I could see a reality where that happens, like, i.e. we can't get the signings up there that we need, and we can't sell him. Like I said, it doesn't make sense to loan him to a Prem rival and have to pay half of his wages. That's ridiculous. Fair enough if it's a move abroad, then okay. But for us, it has to be the right deal. No, let's see what you guys are saying. No way. No. Keep, no way. Absolutely no, he's wank. Sell, delict, yes. Rashford, Martinez, swap deal, and on the cards, could be interesting. SK, they'd have to give us some cash though, wouldn't they? Martinez not worth as much as Rashi, even though Rashi's on huge wages. Maybe Ollie Watkins deal as well, double deal, Martinez and Watkins for Rashi. Maybe us giving them a few quid. Yeah, Sean says no. Okay, fair enough then. By the way, did you see that what Cherky said? Obviously, he's with them on Club World Cup duty or whatever. Do you see what Cherky said about Manchester United? About him wanting to kill us? What a prick, mate. We'll have some of that, Leon. We battered you out of the semi-finals Europa League. Prick, mate. You can't believe we haven't got out and got Gyokeres yet. The longer we leave it, the more he might go elsewhere, like United. Yeah, true. So this is an Arsenal scummer here, exclusive, who's having his say here. And it's the same for them. Obviously, they want their players. I mean, from my perspective, I'd prefer Gyokeres out of Sesko and Gyokeres. Maybe Arteta wants Sesko. And if that happens, well then, it will leave the path clear for us to get Gyokeres, but I am half expecting you to pinch him off of us, that's true. Jamie Riley says, what's the best we can expect for next week's regards transfers? Probably the best we can expect would be Mbeumo getting done up in the next few days, and then news of us working on a striker and a goalkeeper. We won't be able to get them done that quickly, but we certainly should be able to get Mbeumo over the line soon. Yeah, didn't Amorim say that he would rather play the groundsman than Rashford? Relationship might not be productive. Well, there you go. Same goes for Sancho. It's very unlikely those players who were actually out on loan, and same for Anthony as well. Less so Sancho, because he had his issues with Ten Hag, didn't he? But in regards to the players loaned out, particularly with Amorim, he obviously doesn't want them because he was prepared to let them go out in January. So if he did want them, if he did think they were good for the squad and good for the team, he would have kept them obviously around. And he didn't. He'd rather not have anyone there than even have them in the squad. So that, I think, tells everything, really, yeah. But I'm just saying, I do believe there's a possibility it could happen. Sell, says Stephen. No, says Commerce Smith. Sell. Jaden can go. Yeah, well, problem with that is getting rid of him. If Amorim brings back Rashford, that will make the manager look weak. Yeah, it's very unlikely, obviously. It's very unlikely. It is unlikely. So I can't imagine it's going to happen. Surely there's going to be a move on the cards. But you never know. You know, ultimately, Rashford did score a lot of goals for us in the past. Has been a big player for us. If he was to knock on Amorim's door with his tail between his legs and say, look, boss, I've made a mistake. I love United. I'm just a complete melter. I'm going to work my socks off and prove myself to you and everybody else that I am a good United quality player. If that happened, then okay, fair enough. But I don't think he has that in his locker. I think he wants to move away from United, doesn't he? He's already said that. He's literally come out and said that his future lies elsewhere. It's too much pressure for him at United. Too hard of a job, I think, at United these days. Yeah, Dino says Ekitike is class, but too much. Absolutely, yeah, looks good. Good prospect for the future, but only for 40 to 50 million euros, not 70 to 80 or any of the crazy figures that's being bandied around, lad. We need Mateta. Mateta would be a great shout. Alkan Mahmoud, lad, absolutely. Yes, Premier League proven as well. What is he, 27 years old? He's got more experience. He's got the Prem experience. He would not be a bad signing at all. 14 goals in the Prem would definitely be decent. Sorry I've been such a diva, boss. Yeah, that's it. There you go. Maybe he just needs a Snickers. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't like me when I'm hangry. Marlia, welcome in. What's going on there? Chris Johnson says Rashford gets slagged off more than Onana. I wouldn't say that, mate. I still think Onana's got the lead when it comes to being a big error-prone charter for us at the back. Look, Rashford did get slagged off a lot. The reasons for Rashford getting slagged off a lot. Hey, say what you want about Andre Onana. Andre Onana gives it 110% every game. It just so happens that his 110% is only worth about 50% of Peter Schmeichel. But his 110% effort levels cannot be denied. It's not like he can't be asked. It's not like he's not trying. He is trying. You can see that. You can see the concentration on his face. You can see the disappointment on his face. So that's the difference, really. God love a trier. And Rashford, unfortunately, should be the guy who's playing the most for us with his lung busting and heart. He should be giving it the best possible effort for us. But he couldn't be asked, mate. That's it. And he was on 350 grand a week. So when you're the highest paid player in the squad, you best earn it. And he couldn't even be asked to run around. So Rashford, I think, is not the answer. And obviously Onana's Gesh, but at least he tries. At least he really tries. And that's the difference. 110% flubber hands. 50% of Schmeichel, that's generous. Well, yeah, but what I meant, though, Dino, is if you took Peter Schmeichel and you chopped him down the middle with a chainsaw, lad, and you just left the left side of Peter Schmeichel in goals. That's what I mean. He needs a double-decker bus to his next club. Yes, Urbano says it's not even bad luck with Onana. I don't know what the issue is. Just pure flubber-handedness. No, I did not watch Soccer Aid. Was it a good one, lad? I also missed the PSG game as well. Didn't watch any of them. We'll get into that in a moment, Simon. I'll do a little rundown, lad. Can we get Elanga back? Very unlikely, very unlikely. Okay, so Bild reporting that that's the case anyway, that United, the only club spoken with Frankfurt about Hugo Ekitike. Frankfurt sporting director Markus Krösch is friends with United's head of recruitment. Oh yeah, football friend. You know what I'm saying, guys? Football friend. Fußballfreunde. Yeah, Fußballfreunde. Friends with United's head of recruitment Christopher Weivel. Ekitike's open to moving to Old Trafford. His brother and agent is in dialogue with United officials. So all sounds promising there for Ekitike, but I just think ultimately it's going to come down to money, and it's going to be too much money, I think, that Frankfurt are looking for. Probably around, 70 million euros, which is too much for this lad. Although he is a big prospect and he could be really good for us, it's too much for us to spend on any one player who doesn't have the proven experience right now that we need to come in and be confident they're going to score, 20 plus goals a season for Manchester United. German friends, absolutely. Deutsch Frunders. Ja, darling. Okay, so that's the sort of latest on Hugo Ekitike there. I will get into the chat in a minute, just discuss the Ekitike stuff before we move on to the Hojlund and Mbeumo, Gyokeres guff. But in regards to Ekitike, folks, get your thoughts in. Have your say in the live chat. What do you think about it? Obviously, as we've reported, Ekitike is seemingly wanted by Manchester United as we're after a number 9. Contact has been made today and speaking to them for a number of days in regards to potentially getting a deal done. Florian says Man United also made contact with the management of Hugo Ekitike over the weekend and have expressed concrete interest. Man United are now in contact with Eintracht Frankfurt and Ekitike. No decision has been made yet. Liverpool and Chelsea still in the race. And Marco Alcaraz also reiterating that Man United are the only club to make direct contact with Eintracht Frankfurt regarding Hugo Ekitike. And then the big thing that you want to hear as well from Florian is this. Quotes from Hugo Ekitike. My favourite club as a child was Manchester United. I've always admired them. Love it! Right, let's get into the chat for a few minutes then and see what you legends are saying about Hugo, and then we'll move on to the next sort of stories in regards to Hojlund and Mbeumo, etc. Okay, get your thoughts and opinions in there, guys. Also, if you're just getting in there, smash that like button, smash the subscribe button. Have we managed to make it to 90,700 subscribers yet? Yes, we have! So get in there. We're only 300 away now from 91,000, guys. We're creeping up there on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're on here daily with all the latest Man United going on. Yes, mate, come on. Let's see what you're saying. Wouldn't mind him for a good price. 85 million is crazy. I do believe you're right. You're absolutely spot on. 85 million, just too much. We're wasting time trying to get Ekitike. We won't be able to afford him. Well, I certainly don't think that wages would be an issue there. It's more so the amount of money involved. I mean, you've got to put the feelers out. If a club says they want 70 million, doesn't mean they're actually expecting to get that. Perhaps there is a middle ground there. Perhaps there can be a deal worked out, especially if the player wants to leave. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Johnny, that means something to me as well, Johnny. Johnny Swan says if he's a fan, he'll play for the badge. Spot on, Johnny, lad. That's it. We need players who want to do that, like Mbeumo, supposedly a United fan as a lad. This is important because it means that these players know what the club's all about. They know the history and what a privilege it is to play for Manchester United. It's like that's what's put me off the Viktor Gyokeres deal, when you hear things like Gyokeres prefers Arsenal. Well, if Gyokeres prefers Arsenal, then he prefers being a bottle job, doesn't he? They've never won the Champions League. They haven't won the Prem in over 20 years. Okay, they're up there. Okay, there's probably less pressure. It's probably an easier place to go into, more stability. But ultimately, you're a bottle job if you choose Arsenal over United, in my opinion. And if you're choosing them over us, we don't want you. We don't want you anyway. We want players who want to play for Man United. So that's absolutely a good point. Yeah, absolutely. You think he's a good player, but he's still kind of raw. He is definitely a bit too raw right now. That's it. That's the problem. Absolutely, he's a raw one. I did not see that, mate. No. What? I haven't seen any of Soccer, mate. That sounds raw. Wayne Rooney doing bits, is he? Carlos Tevez. What? Dudes, I need to watch it. No, I haven't seen any of it. I'll watch it after my FIFA stream tonight. Fungsize says more clubs will declare interest and will be mugged off yet again. Perhaps. Confirmed he's a United fan. Liverpool not in for him either. That is fake news. Well, I'm not sure about that. I mean, you've got obviously reports from various outlets saying it, such as Bild in Germany, Sky. I mean, obviously Sky is not the, it's not the most reliable of sources, but there are outlets reporting it. So you see Liverpool making a potential move here. Interesting, could do. But what about the whole Florian Wirtz transfer? Surely that's eaten up a lot of their transfer funds this summer, especially with the likes of Kirkers and Frimpong coming, these guys. If we're paying 80 to 100 million for Ekitike, why can't we just get Gyokeres? Well, we could. We certainly could, Coys, and I don't think we're paying 80 to 100 million for Ekitike. I don't think we will pay that for him. That would be crazy. I would be so annoyed if we ended up paying that for him. That's too much. It's too much of a gamble. But the reason I don't think we're getting Gyokeres is not due to a lack of want from us. It's more due to, well, I guess Sporting holding out for a bit too much money. The negotiation has to take place and it will take as long as it takes to meet a middle ground there. But also in regards to the player, it does look like at the moment that he may still well be open to joining Manchester United, but his preference would be to join Arsenal. So that's the biggest stumbling block there, it seems. Look at Rashford, exactly. Thank you for subscribing, Stuart Comrie. Appreciate you hitting that subscribe button, you legend. Yes, hit the subscribe if you're new. You don't care if we get Santa Claus or a postman. We want someone who can deliver goals for us. What about a milkman, lad? Just the same. Pig, if Ekitike shines next season again, his price would double. He loves United. If Amorim wants him, get him now. Third choice is better than 20 if using Rashford. Hey, respect, lad, but, you know, how much money are we prepared to pay for him? I think we'd probably all take Hugo Ekitike. I'm sure we'd all take him, right? But it's about the money. Guys, how much would you spend on Hugo Ekitike? Let's talk in pounds sterling here. He does look good. He does look Isaac-esque. He is 22. His goal record's impressive. He's strong, physical. You know, he looks good. But how much are we talking here? We can't pay 70 to 80 million. It's too much pressure. It's too much of a risk if he doesn't turn out to be great. I'm literally talking about nearly half that, guys. How much do you think we should spend in pounds? I'm saying 45 million pounds tops. What's that? 55 million euros? If they want a significant amount more than that, then I'm sorry, they're going to have to spin on it, and we're going to have to look for someone else. Yeah, there you go. Ekitike is, by the looks, risky. There you go, Maps. It is a risky one. 40 million. I'll try, Mags Hannon, lad. I'll try and give you some good news, but, you know, at the moment, it's only Mateus Cunha official. We're still waiting for Mbeumo. 45 max, 50 tops, 45, 40. No more than 60 to 65. 45 to 55. Yeah, no more than what we can sell Garnacho for. Good call, good call. Not more than 65, 65, 70, 30 to 40 max. In this market, 60 million euros ain't bad. I suppose, but what can you get for 60 million euros in the Prem? I feel like you could get the best part of maybe Visser and Kluivert for that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe I'm misguided. But I heard some reports of maybe Visser being available for approximately 35 mil and Kluivert not a huge deal more than that. So I'm just saying, like, in terms of value, we have to make it make sense, you know, because we can get some Premier League proven experience in there for the same or less than that. And now what we're expected to do is spend a lot on these players. Yeah, okay, 31 years of age. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah, and also, you know, who else? Mateta's 27. So of course they don't have as many miles on the clock. But do United need players who we're looking to have for many, many years, who are getting better and are not ready yet? That's the key here. It's better, in my opinion, to sign a few players who are older, who are 27, 28, 29, whatever, instead of the 21, 22-year-olds right now. We've got enough of those. I think we need a bit more experience, a bit more bottle. So from that perspective, I'd actually, you know, okay, they're older, but for that reason, they're probably easier to obtain and also probably more experience to do the job for us right now in the Prem anyway. So I'm not sold on this guy unless he's the right price, unless he's 40-odd million. I'm not sold on him because I think it's too much of a gamble and has the potential to be another Gashmas Boylan calamity. Yep, you'd pay £55 million, 43 mil, 35 mil, 15, 33 goals, no more than 40 million, 45 to 50 max. Thing is, there's a big potential there as well, though, Bjorn. So that is a good return from him in the Bundesliga. But obviously, there's a big potential to do that in the Prem for us or even do more in the future. He is only 22. 40 to 50, 25 million as well. Spend £40 max, 40 million Bundesliga tax. Yep, you ain't getting a striker for 40 in today's market. Depends really. Depends. I mean, there's obviously, if you look at, you know, depends who. Liam Delap went to Chelsea for 30 million, and he's only 22 homegrown. It depends on what the deals are, but I feel you. It's obviously cheap in today's market for a good player. Even if 70 million, if it's like 20 million add-ons performances, fair enough, yeah. I wouldn't say no to some sort of structured deal where we're getting it on the never. 30 plus Rashford, I like that. No more than 60, and that's pushing it. 35, 55, 58. Ekitike's overrated. He is Xerxes 2.0. Osserman is the best option. Interesting, Vic. Thanks for your comment. Well, yeah. Well, that's another thing I thought of when I was watching videos of him, actually. He is quite Xerxes-esque in his stance, his stature, his feet. He's got good, quick feet like Xerxes. Look, Xerxes is a good player. The difference between, I think, Ekitike and Xerxes, though, is that Xerxes does not have as much as an eye for goal. I think he's very good in the build-up. He's not really clinical in front of goal, at least not from what I've seen from him. Whereas Ekitike, he does look a lot more clinical. Like, if you look at his goals to games ratio and his goals to chances ratio, like, he is quite clinical compared to the likes of Xerxes. So he will be playing our proper number 9 for us. Xerxes can still play number 9 for us as a backup, but he's probably best playing a number 10 backup role for us as well. But he can do both. So it's interesting, that Vic, but I still think Ekitike may be a better option as a number 9, because he is a proper outright number 9 and he does score goals, he does score goals, whereas Xerxes just doesn't score that many goals for us, unfortunately, or at least hasn't. Good shout, Kieran. Ollie Watkins be a good job, and maybe we could get Rashford off the books. Jamie, I haven't checked actually, but I'm sure I have, mate. I'll check it out very soon. Thanks for sending me that, lad. And I'll get that t-shirt out to you, legend. Congratulations on winning once again. How much would I sell Garnacho for? 45 to 55 million pounds, Chris. If we get him off the books for less than that, we're getting bent over a barrel, lad. Because he's a great young player, 20 years of age, has so much potential. Like, goodness me, if we sold him for less than that, we're getting done. And also there's talks of him not even wanting to leave the Premier League. Like, apparently his preference right now is to stay in the Premier League. Like, he wants to leave Man United, but his preference is to stay in the Prem, which means that we're having to sell him to what? A Premier League rival, potentially. And surely they've got to pay a little bit of a Premier League rival premium then. So maybe 60 million if one of our Premier League rivals wants him. I think the best thing that we could do, though, honestly, with either Rashford or Garnacho is, you just hit the nail on the head a minute ago by mentioning Ollie Watkins. So you look at Aston Villa. Aston Villa have two players. Yeah, there you go, Cake. Aston Villa have two players we could easily take right now that would help us out. They've got Ollie Watkins. That could be a swap for Rashford. Got no issues with that, get something off the books. And it doesn't have to be a swap. They could be different deals, but it's essentially like, hey, here's Rashford. You give us Watkins and we'll sell you Rashford. And it's kind of like a mutual agreement there, you know what I mean? And then also they've got the goalkeeper, Martinez, as well. And we're desperate for a goalkeeper. We really are. So maybe we could do something there with Garnacho. Perhaps Garnacho, one of them, I'm not saying both of those players, but I'm just saying one of those players could maybe be going in the opposite direction. We could get one of those guys from Villa and one of the other players could be coming in the opposite direction. So it is feasible, that. Plus it means we don't have to spend a huge amount of money. Vincent says Villa want Mason Mount. What for, mate? Have they retired their T-boy? Do they need a new water boy? What's going on there, lad? Somebody slacking in terms of making sandwiches in the canteen. You know what I mean? What do you mean they want Mason Mount? They don't want Mason Mount. No one wants Mason Mount. Mason Mount's unwantable. Goodness me, even we don't want Mason Mount. And he's our number 7. Nobody wants Mason Mount. If you look at his goal ratio, Charlie, this season, I'm not sure of the actual ratio of his percentages, but if you look at his goals, he still did score a lot of goals. How many did he get? Like 16 league goals or something like that? He was in the top 10, I believe, of the goal scorers in the Prem, so he's not done too badly. And he sort of fell out of favour towards the end as well. It wasn't his favourite time the last few months at Villa. Jamie Riley, thank you for your comment. He says, Aston Villa currently spend 95% on their revenue and wages. They really need to sell or they will be in trouble. Yes, absolutely, Jamie. There you go. So for that reason, again, we could see the likes of, perhaps Martinez offloaded, Ollie Watkins offloaded, and maybe they can get a deal done in the opposite direction for either Garnacho or Rashford. It's possible. Yeah, Mount would fit in. They need a boot polisher. Emi Martinez is dead cert to United. I love that confidence, Joey. But I don't believe anything's dead cert. But I like your confidence. Obviously, if you're talking about who's available right now, we can go and get. Seems he wants to leave. Seems Villa open to letting him go for 25 to 30 million. It ticks a lot of our boxes with the Prem experience, and he is a quality keeper. And he's a bit of a shithouse, and we like that, don't we? Yep, Martinez in, Onana out. We signed Van der Sar when he was 35 years old. Get it done. Absolutely, lad. We only need a quick fix for a few seasons. Somebody who's got the proven ability to come in and do the job. Watkins for Rashford plus Mount. Throw in Shaw if need be. They're not going to take those players, mate. Maybe Rashford, but Mount and Shaw would actually hurt the deal. You know what I mean? That's going to make the deal unpalatable for them, mate. Nobody wants Luke Shaw. You've got to factor in an extra couple of £1 million a year on catering. It's just nobody wants Luke Shaw, mate. No, we can't sell Shaw to Villa. He's unsellable, lad. He's absolutely unsellable. I am aware of that, Gav's highlights. I am, but, this stream's just going to go on as long as it goes, really, mate, and then we'll get on the FIFA. We're probably going to be on here another at least 5 minutes or so. Incidentally, keep smashing the likes, guys. Smash the like, help us get to 200 likes. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. You have helped us now get to 90,700. Next stop is 90,800. Give us a subscribe if you're new, and make sure you click the bell icon so you get notified when we go live tomorrow. Yep. Cannot just buy who we think. You need to buy what Amorim wants. He transformed a commentary failure. Trust the gaffer. Yeah, there you go, Manny. I agree. You know, you've got to let him get who he wants. You're absolutely right. So if he wants Ekitike because he's identified something in him that he wants in his system, that's absolutely fair. Let's go, Justin. Oh, thank you so much, Sully Griffin, for gifting out 10 memberships on the channel. Sully Griffin. Sully Griffin's gifted out 10 members to the Bacon Brigade, lad. Let's get some mad love in there for Sully. Love hearts in the chat. Thank you, Sully. That's amazing, lad. He's made 10 new members of the Bacon Brigade. Really appreciate that, Sully. How are you getting on tonight, you legend? Thank you so much for that, dude. That is generous of you. What a legend. What a legend. I'm just going to go and shout out everyone who's reposted us on X. Thank you to everyone who's done that. Help spread the show around as well. I'll just give you a quick shout out. We've had 11 reposts. Big up, you legends. Shout out to Francois Cock, Aaron Homeyard, Ben Thornton, Aidan Vickery, Kane, Vincent Bullock, MUFC Brummy Reds, Gary Wadsley, Kieran, Larry Hasser, and Devils Are Red. Big ups, you absolute legends. Thanks so much for sharing the show around. Right, I'm just going to cover a couple of other little things, and then we're going to get into the chat for a bit of a Q&A. Thanks once again to Sully Griffin there. You're a legend. You're drinking by yourself in a pub. You know, sometimes the best pints are those alone pints, lad. Smashing one if you know what I mean. When you've got a cheeky half an hour to kill or an hour to kill or something, you used to have a cheeky pint on your own, mate. Do you know what I mean? Not that bad, mate. There's nothing wrong with that, lad. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's nice. Anyway. Right, so what I'm going to do now is talk about the rest of the stuff that we've got here. We've already discussed most of it this afternoon, but there is a report that Inter Milan are accelerating a deal for Rasmus Hojlund. So hopefully Rasmus Hojlund could be moved on relatively soon, either in a permanent transfer for around about £35 million or as a loan to buy deal. That's still on the cards as well. So there should be some movement in the next week in regards to Hojlund and a bit more information. Inter could well be looking to take him just on a loan deal to try before they buy. It's no risk for them if that happens. It's no risk for us if it happens either, really, because it's just going to give him a chance to get his confidence back and maybe do good things over there in Serie A. And he could come back to us a better player even if they don't make the move permanent. So I don't think it's too much of a risk for us to let him go out on loan. Usually I'd want to just sell a player outright. But in Rasmus's case, I feel like maybe there is still a player in there somewhere. Yeah, so I wouldn't be opposed to seeing him go out on loan there, but ideally we'd get the money to reinvest right now. Kate Cadet says, Pig, what's worth the most, Luke Shaw or a Frey Bentos pie or the tin opener to open the pie tin? Got to be the Frey Benny, lad. Got to be the Frey Bentos, mate. If you're starving, you know, you'd smash that open with a rock. Or if you're Luke Shaw, you just rip the lid off, mate, like he does. You know, so I really do believe that's, fair. We need to sell some garbage for sure. Yeah, Justin says, please lose that dead weight. I'm guessing you're talking about the players and not my dead weight. Only 198 likes. Thank you so much, everyone who's hit the likes. So that's awesome, Kevin. Big up, Stephen Shipman. Joey Emi Martinez will not sign for United unless Onana is sold. I don't see Onana being sold because no club wants him. I feel like we can still get a goalkeeper even if Onana stays. Surely he will want to go once we sign somebody else, or the talks of us realistically signing somebody else. If he wants to play, he's going to have to go. And he may well just have to lower his standards. I think what you said is true. There's probably no top clubs that are going to want to go and get him right now. Probably not too many. Although I would have thought Inter would be one of those clubs, seeing as he previously was at Inter and did well at Inter. I know different manager and everything now, but obviously was at Inter. They've got Jan Sommer, who's not going to be around forever. He's getting on. And they could just get Onana back on the cheap. I would have thought Inter would have been interested. But yeah, maybe a loan deal with an option to buy there again for him. Reality is nobody does want our players. Yeah, surely Inter have someone better than Rasmus. Well, they certainly do, lad. But he can be a backup for them, a rotationary player. Probably going to be more than what we'll get at United. If we're being honest, we need two strikers to come in ahead of him. This time next year, Piggy will be eating his words regarding Mason Mount. Do you reckon? It's funny that, because people have said that to me for the last 3 or 4 years. Even when he was at Chelsea, everyone was banging on about Mason Mount. Now, all I've ever said, and people who've watched this channel for a long time will know this, and I'm not capping here. No bullshit. All I've ever said is that Mason Mount is one of the most overrated Mounts I've ever seen. You know, that's all I've ever said, ever since right the way back he was at Chelsea, way long before he's come to Manchester United. I've never liked him as a player. Never liked him when he was in the England team. I've just never liked him. Never thought he was a good player, thought he was overrated. So I don't think I will be wrong, because I've seen it for multiple seasons now. He doesn't have what it takes. And remember as well, Robert, remember, lad, we are having this guy come in to probably... Where's he going to play this season, mate? Where's Mount going to play? He's going to play a backup role at best at number 10, is he? Or maybe a backup role at the number 8. What else is he going to do? He's not going to play the starting role in those games, in any of those games. We're not in Europe. There's not going to be a huge rotation compared to last season. Like, he's going to be behind Mbeumo. He's going to be behind Cunha. He's going to be behind Bruno. Like, how does he even play? I don't see how he plays. If I was Mason Mount, I'd be looking to move this summer because he's not going to play. Yeah, Mason Mount's not the guy. Johnny loves Mount. I can't stand him. But each to their own. I'm just not a fan of him at all. I don't see what he brings to the table. Mason Mount's a 30-minute player off the bench. Well, maybe that's what it is, yeah. Mount can be good. He does have energy. He can defend. He can press, and we did see, he scored those couple of banging goals for us in the Europa, didn't he? He can do it sometimes, but it's too sporadic. Yeah, made of glass, and he's always injury-prone. That's it. Mount and Onana to Championship club. Yeah, Mason Mount's average guff for Chelsea, England and Man United. Yeah, beyond Lautaro and Thuram, we Inter don't have backup strikers. Arnautovic, Carrera, Aslani are all shite. There you go, T-Mill. So, you've got obviously those guys. They've scored a lot of goals between them this season, Thuram and Lautaro Martinez. And if you don't, yeah, exactly. If you don't have the goals in other areas, Rasmus makes a bit of sense for that backup role, doesn't he? Especially when you consider Inter do have, more competitions to play in and stuff. They need a bit more depth in their squad. Mount will play left out. Yeah, that's it. And that's even if he stays fit. Literally, bang average, says Griffin. So true. If Mason Mount was bought for 50 million, nobody would be complaining. But £60 million player, he isn't. Oh, you're 100% true, mate. That's true. If he wasn't on 200 grand a week, if me aunt was me uncle, then she'd have a schlong, wouldn't she? Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I know what you're saying. But ultimately, he was bought for 60 million. He was given the number 7 shirt. He should be wearing the number 77 shirt and a pair of marigolds washing up the dishes next to Doris. G. Lewis, thanks for becoming a member of the channel, you legend. Get some big love in there for G. Lewis. Really appreciate that, G. Lewis, you legend. Welcome to the Bacon Brigade, my son. Get some love in there for G. Lewis as well. Welcome him in. Thank you for the support there, G. Lewis. Appreciate you. Respect my UCL sister. Are we even in for Mbeumo? Right, we are in for Mbeumo. I don't really want to discuss the Mbeumo stuff, but, the news on Mbeumo is just the same, really. We're expecting that we're going to get the deal done. You may have seen my article. If you want to know the situation, you probably didn't see the article, but I have started. I'm going to start posting more articles again on my website, which is flyingpigunited.com. There's an article on there which I posted today in regards to what's the hold up with the Bryan Mbeumo deal. So check that out if you want on flyingpigunited.com for a bit more info. But ultimately, it's expected we'll still complete the deal very soon. But there is a doubt now, obviously, with the Thomas Frank and Spurs situation. So that's where we're at, really. Yep, United prodigy Ekitike is a decent player. I like him, but the price is like what I like. Shaw would be off-putting. Sorry, putting off-putting. He spent more time in the physio room than the physio, though. Yeah, both Mason and Luke Shaw have got a season ticket to the physio room. That's true. Mount will break down again and be out for 6 months. Ray says, why would Inter sign Onana when he has terrible seasons for Man United? This is the reasons, Ray. When he was at Inter, he was good for them. They sold him for 50 million. They then signed Jan Sommer, a 36-year-old goalkeeper, for 6 million. Right? What's to say they couldn't get Onana back and he'd do well for them and they could get him back at a cut price and he's 27 or whatever. They'll have many years of service out of him. I actually do think it makes more sense for Inter than just about anybody because he's already played for them and he was already good for them. He got to a Champions League final for them, just like Sommer. He was good for them. Mount's best match was getting us to the next round of Europa. Apart from that, he's a chocolate fire guard. True, yes, bit of a melter. Mr. Leo G, let's go. Mount on the left next to Bruno. Don't like it, Rain. Don't like it, Wayne. Pig Duran on loan. What you saying? I'd love it. I would definitely take it. It seems like an absolute goal scorer when he was at Villa, definitely. Once Love Mount just wanted banter Chelsea. Yes, there you go. He's shite. Lautaro Martinez going to Liverpool. Play him inverted left winger. Cake saying bro doesn't even support United. If he does, he's the most negative fan I've ever seen. Cake definitely does support United. He just hates he hates stupidity everywhere he sees it. And he sees it everywhere when it comes to Man United, which I don't blame him. I understand it. Ornstein already said he favours United getting the hidden element. Get this guff over and get on the and get on the FIFA stream. Shit, yeah, the time, guys. Sorry about the time. I have gone on a bit here. All right, we'll just read 1 or 2 more out and then we'll have to wrap it up. Gav's highlights. That's where we're going, by the way. We're going over to the gaming channel, Flying Pig Gaming. We're going to be on there. Uno momento, por favore. Come and join us on the gaming channel. Flying Pig Gaming is the name of the channel. I'm going to pin that to the top of the chat there. There it is. Nice one, Gavster. There's a link to the stream. We are on here literally in a minute. Give us a couple of minutes and we'll be over there doing the stream, guys. So yes, please come and join us for the gaming stream on Flying Pig Gaming. But we'll be back tomorrow, as I said, with all the latest transfer goings on for lunchtime, with the lunchtime show, and then all the latest transfer goings on in the evening. And if there's anything breaking, obviously we'll jump on and cover it. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you click the bell icon and all that jazz. And the debate does not have to stop here. You can come back after this video is finished and get your thoughts and opinions in the not live comments about anything we've discussed. What do I think of New Jersey, where many moiders are coy? I've never actually been there, you know, Gary, but from what I've heard, it looks pretty interesting. The only real experience I have of New Jersey is from The Sopranos, mate. So, get myself some gabagool. Woke up this morning and got some gabagool. Who the fuck are you throwing to the question who I support? Oh, here we go. It's kicking off. Signs for us to wrap up the stream, right? I'll see you guys over on the gaming stream. Do come and join us, guys. Once again, here's the link in the chat. Here's the link in the chat. Make sure you smash the like, smash the subscribe, click the bell, and come over and join us on Flying Pig Gaming for a cheeky little FIFA stream. You're going to have to give me another 5 minutes or so, actually, because I'm turtling over here again, Cake. I need to go to the toilet, mate. Jamie, thank you so much for that, lad. Thank you so much, Jamie Riley. You're a legend. Get some love in there for Jamie Riley. Appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat, lad, and everybody else as well. Thank you, Johnny, Justin, Vincent. Get in there, my son, Rocky, Hidden Element, Stuart, Aaron, Kevin, everybody, Thornster, everybody's in here. Thank you so much for watching and getting involved. And I'll see you tomorrow with the latest updates and Manchester United news. Oh, we're turtling. Right, good night. God bless. Piggy loves you. Thanks for watching. Come and join us on the gaming channel literally in 5 minutes. And I'll see you there for some FC25 action. And remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com. So check it out. Patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.